You give a eulogy at your grandmother's funeral.
That's right.
And what did you say at the eulogy at your grandmother's funeral?
I don't remember, but I blogged about it. I blogged about it. I think I posted something in the group.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was a couple years ago, though, right?
It was a couple. Yeah.
I'm not gonna remember.
And but it's still on my MySpace blog, which hasn't been updated for a couple of years. So it's there somewhere. No, my grandmother didn't want anything to do with it, and I didn't like the idea that the only representation my grandmother was going to get in front of over half of the people who came were her family or her friends, and I didn't feel that she was a very dynamic, interesting person, and she rejected that whole philosophy altogether, and so I didn't think it was right that her only representation at her wake was coming from that.
Why were they? Wait a minute. Why were they giving her that kind of funeral if she wasn't?
Because my mother was in charge. My mother was in charge of the funeral.
So they wanted to give her a Jehovah's Witness funeral when she wasn't.
Well, one of those things. It's one of those things about funerals. You know, funerals are not for the dead; they're for the living. And so my mother did what she thought would bring her comfort. And then my aunt is also a Jehovah's Witness, and she thought she was also going to be accommodating my aunt, but my aunt's her preoccupation with how much money she gets trumped her need to come to the funeral, and as a result, my aunt never showed up to her mother's funeral.
So you basically.
So I told everybody I want to say a couple things, and I want to give her. I was pretty candid. I said I want to give her a eulogy that speaks to the people who are not going to be spoken to by the subscribers of this faith. And then the elder tried to lecture me on my way up as I stood up from my chair, as I kind of made the announcement right there. I have something to say, and the elder was like, paraphrased, he was like, "Don't start shit," And but I did.
What did you say?
Well, probably the most controversial thing was saying some of the things that she would maybe say to someone else, because she was always hotel room first.
Right.
She was always being very crass with people, and so if like a woman was wearing something she was jealous of, she wouldn't be jealous. She would jokingly demean that woman, that prostitute, whore, and she'd say it to her face. That's a pretty dress. You whoring slut. This guy, so I tried to embody that in what I described of her in my eulogy.
Good at it. Sounds like.
So I got chuckles out of some people, and I got
What's the point?
I got stares of fright out of others. Is that all broken glass there?
No, that's plastics.
I'll take it. How come I couldn't get a room with that I could drive up to? Is this the same hotel we did?
I don't know. It looks like
It's
that
not
secret back.
It's like I drove into Silent Hill.
Well, that was an interesting story. We'll talk more.
All right.
Yeah.